News from around the globe. Hot, fresh, balanced and objective. On Unity.
Hello and welcome to News Hour on Unity TV. Today is Wednesday, the 15th of February 2023, and it's equivalent to 24th of Rajab 1444 after Hijrah. The headlines. New Naira, federal government CBN will act after Supreme Court ruling, says presidency. Explosion in Namani sues PDP, IU restates backing Tinubu. Naira crisis worsens, Emefiele justifies redesign. Gridlock as 2 containers fall on Mile 12 bridge. And on the foreign scene, trapped earthquake victims cry for help. Deaths now 41,200. Referee body admits human error in Brentford equalizer against Arsenal in sports. And those were the headlines, and for details and more of the stories, I am Rukayet Sani Ibrahim. The presidency has said that neither the federal government nor the Central Bank of Nigeria had taken a stand on the continued use of the old 200, 500 and 1,000 naira notes as legal tenders, seeing that the case is still pending before the Supreme Court, which will hear it today on Wednesday. The senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, said the federal government will make its position on the new naira policy known after the determination of the suit on Wednesday. In a response to our correspondent on Tuesday, he said following a series of inquiries, they wish to state that it is not true that the federal government or the CBN has taken a preemptive action on the legality of currency as a legal tender in view of the pendency of the case before the Supreme Court. The position of the government and the CBN will be made known upon the determination of the suit coming up tomorrow. This comes about 1 week after the Supreme Court, in a ruling on February 8, suspended the CBN's February 10 deadline to halt the use of old naira notes. The bank had ordered citizens to exchange all old 200 naira, 500 naira and 1,000 naira banknotes for a redesigned version of the same currencies. However, the Supreme Court, responding to an ex parte application filed by the governments of Kaduna, Kogi and Zamfara, stopped the CBN from effecting its ban on the old notes pending the hearing and determination of the case on Wednesday, February 15. A former governor of Enugu State and senator representing Enugu East Senatorial District, Chimaroke Nnamani, has sued the People's Democratic Party (PDP) over the disciplinary actions taken against him for alleged anti-party activities. It was gathered that Nnamani filed the suit before the Federal High Court in Abuja on February 7, 2023, few days before his expulsion from the party. The Punch reports that Nnamani declared support for the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, which had led to his initial suspension from the PDP. The former governor of Enugu State said his support for the APC candidate was because he could not support a northerner to become president after the 8-year tenure of the current President, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired. On February 10, 2023, the PDP expelled Nnamani alongside some other key party members for anti-activities. In the front page of the court document obtained by our correspondent on Tuesday, those listed as defendants in Nnamani's suit are the Independent National Electoral Commission, the National Chairman of the PDP, Iyorchia Ayu, Samuel Anyanwu, on behalf of the National Working Committee members of the PDP. In the suit, Nnamani asked the court to determine whether it was proper for the party to take disciplinary actions against him without giving him fair hearing. There is gridlock on Ikorodu Road as 2 containers fell off the back of a trailer on the Mile 12 bridge outbound Ikorodu. Many commuters have resorted to trekking as a result of the traffic on the bridge. The traffic has extended to as far as Majidun area of the road. Our correspondent, who was at the site of the incident, reports that officials of the Lagos State Traffic Management Agency are making frantic efforts to manage the gridlock that resulted from the incident. Reporting the incident on its Twitter handle, Latma wrote, 2 containers fell off the back of a trailer on the Mile 12 bridge, Kosofe paralyzing traffic movement on the bridge. Vehicles are being deterred under the bridge. The Traffic Management Agency appealed for patience as it continued to battle the resulting gridlock. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has said that sensitive materials for the 2023 general elections are in the custody of the Central Bank of Nigeria. This was disclosed by the National Commissioner and Chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee (INEC), Festus Okoye, to our correspondent on Tuesday. It will be recalled that individuals and groups in 2022 raised serious concerns about the sanctity of election materials kept to the CBN after news about the CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele indicating interest to contest for the country's presidential seat. As a result of the chairman, INEC Mahmoud Yakubu, on June 4, 2022 said sensitive electoral materials would, in the meantime, no longer be routed through the CBN. The INEC chairman noted that the electoral body had never had an issue with the CBN since the partnership started. But due to current circumstances, an alternative will be found. However, Okoye stated that the Commission has printed and delivered most of the sensitive materials, such as result and ballot papers, and kept them with the CBN for movement to the Commission's local government offices across the country. He also noted that INEC had almost concluded the delivery of non-sensitive materials across the country. The crisis surrounding the Naira redesign worsened on Tuesday as the Central Bank of Nigeria failed to clarify the legal tender status of the old notes. The development created more confusion across the country amid the refusal by banks, filling stations and traders to accept the old currencies. This happened as a shortage of new notes persisted in states and the Federal Capital Territory, FCT. However, the CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele on Tuesday ruled out further extension of the deadline stipulated for the phasing out of the old 1,000 Naira, 500 Naira and 200 Naira notes respectively. Emefiele made the disclosure during a meeting with members of the diplomatic community in Abuja. He spoke against the backdrop of concerns generated by a Supreme Court order suspending the February 10 deadline pending the determination of a suit by some state governors slated for hearing on February 15. Amid Nigerians believe that the old notes will remain legal tender until the determination of the Supreme Court suit, the CBN governor told members of the diplomatic community that the Apex Bank will not extend the deadline. Emefiele was, however, silent on the legal tender status of the old Naira notes. He also said, no doubt there are pockets of pressure in some areas. The CBN is working hard to shift pressure and resource to those areas in order to ease the tension. The situation is substantially calming down since the commencement of over-the-counter payments to complement ATM disbursement and the use of super agents. There is, therefore, no need to consider any shift from the deadline of February 10. Meanwhile, massive protests erupted in some parts of the country on Tuesday as commercial banks, filling stations and traders rejected the old notes from customers. Hundreds of angry citizens who took part in the protests in Abeokuta, Sangota, Ogun State and Akure in Ondo State kicked against the decision of the CBN to withdraw the old notes despite failing to provide the new notes in sufficient quantity. Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje of Kano State has threatened to sanction banks and businesses rejecting the old Naira notes. The governor cited a Supreme Court interim injunction that allowed the use of old notes alongside new ones until the old ones are phased out. Governor Ganduje said he noticed that some businesses are rejecting old notes, worsening the situation due to the lack of new notes. The governor emphasized that the old notes are still legal tender and that the government may revoke the license of businesses that do not comply. He said the people have suffered enough untold hardship and therefore the state government will not fold its arms and allow a few selfish elements to worsen the situation. The governor called on the people in the state to continue with their lawful businesses and report anyone who refuses to accept the old Naira notes to the appropriate quarters. The Anambra State Police Command has rescued 15 members of the National Youth Service Corps NYSC abducted by gunmen in the state. It was gathered that the Corps members were en route to Lagos after their 3 weeks of orientation programs before their vehicle was intercepted at the Ihiala area of the state. Police Public Relations Officer in the state, Ikenga Tochukwu, confirmed the rescue in a statement on Tuesday. Tochukwu, a deputy superintendent of police, said the gunmen kept the NYSC members hostage and were trailed by police operatives. The Zamfara state government has ordered all non-governmental organizations to leave the state over what it described as illegal activities by these establishments. The state's Commissioner for Security and Home Affairs, Mohammed Safi, said in a statement Tuesday. It is further noted that the majority of the illegal NGOs have not registered with the state in line with the laid-down rules and regulations of government. Some of them have also been found to be engaging in activities fueling insecurity in the state and its neighborhood. He said security agencies in the state are directed to be vigilant to the NGOs, and security agencies also directed to investigate and prosecute any NGOs operating in the state without due clearance from designated authorities. And on the foreign scene, emergency rescue operatives combing the rubble of the collapsed structures caused by an earthquake in Turkey and Syria said they heard the voices of some of the trapped victims on Tuesday. 8 days after the tremor and its violent aftershocks, more than 41,200 people have been confirmed dead across Turkey and Syria, and survival stories are becoming few and far between. James Elder, a spokesman for the United Nations Children's Agency, said 4.6 million children live in the 10 Turkish provinces hit by the disaster, while in Syria, 2.5 million children have been affected. And in sports, English referee body has admitted a human error in Brentford equalizer against Arsenal in a Premier League game on Saturday, and in another fixture, the Gunners labored to score through a Leandro Trossard effort, but English striker Ivan Toney responded quickly to restore parity in the 1-1 draw, while the video assist referee VAR was used to review the goal before it was allowed. The official in charge of VAR, Lee Merson, did not spot Brentford's Christian Northern coming from an offside position to assist Toney. VAR also incorrectly ruled out Brighton's goal as offside in their draw against Palace, but hours after the matches, the Professional Game Match Official Limited (PGMOL) said there were errors in the Brentford goal and in the other game. A win for Arsenal would have sent the Gunners 8 points clear at the summit before Manchester City 3-1 victory over Aston Villa. Mikel Arteta's men, who are now 3 points ahead following the draw, face Pep Guardiola's side in a must-win top-of-the-table clash at the Emirates on Wednesday. With this story, we've come to the end of our bulletin for today. You can follow us on our social media handles at Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at Unity Radio FM TV, respectively. I am Ruqayyat Sani Ibrahim. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of our programs. Unity.